Hello and welcome to episode 4 of the Let's Go Storm podcast. With us tonight, we've got a very special guest. We've got none other than Hemel Storm's point guard, as we like to call him, Seth Swalve. Hi, Seth. How you doing?
I'm good. Thanks for having me on.
No, you're welcome. No, thanks very much. We really appreciate your time. So we're just going to dive straight in, as we do with a lot of our guests. We tend to start at the start, basically. Just try and find out about your basketball journey, how you got into basketball, that sort of thing. So I see you were born in Coleman, is it Alabama in USA?
Mm-hmm.
Which is that's the South, isn't it? That's the South of the States.
About as south as you can go.
Oh, the deep South, as they call it.
The deep South.
Oh, okay. Fair enough. So yeah, so how did your basketball journey start there? And was it hotbed of hoops or?
So basketball's fairly big in the South. I don't know what really inspired me at the very beginning. I started playing when I was 5. So really, really young. Honestly, I don't even remember the why, or I barely remember the team that I was playing with. I just remember always playing basketball. I had hoops when I was younger, even like younger than that. But like my first organized basketball team was when I was 5. And I think it was just something else to try because I'd only played baseball before that. I played baseball a year before. So I think my parents were probably just wanting me to try all the different sports.
That's really young to get started in sports, isn't it? 5. It's amazing.
Yeah, I think Jack Bonero, he didn't start playing until he was about 12 or something. I'm sure he said that on the podcast.
He did. I think he did. And then I was talking with Aaron the other day. He didn't start until like high school. I think he was like 16 when he started.
Really?
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. He's a quick developer then, isn't he?
He catches on quick.
He does, yeah. He does. Certainly do. So any other sports you're into? Was there anything else around, like soccer then or even rugby or any other?
I played baseball for a few more years after I started basketball. But once I caught the bug, it was only basketball ever since then.
Good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So you graduated from Coleman High School in 2016, where you made just a name for yourself of being one of the best guards to come out of the Bearcat program. Sorry, Bearcat, not Bearcat. Can you tell us a bit more about the Bearcat program, please? Bearcat does sound like it would be of interest as well, though.
Yeah,
it does. Yeah,
have to run that by the school. No, so grew up keeping up with the high school program because being from that area, I knew that's where I was going to go to school. Loved watching the older guys play when I was young, and was always dreaming of being a part of the varsity team. They had some success before I got there, and then the year before I started playing, they had a new coach, Bobby Meyer. He came in and he took over, and it was perfect timing with his style and the way that I like to play. He just likes to press full court, play at really high speeds. Everybody was shooting threes, and the game was definitely starting to go towards a lot more threes, but I'll give credit to Coach Meyer. He wanted everyone 1 through 12 shooting threes, and I think we shot as a team like just under 40%, and we were shooting, I think it was well over 20 something threes a game. It was high 20s threes a game. So it was pretty revolutionary. Like a lot of teams at that time weren't doing that, especially in high school basketball. But I was able to play with a lot of really good guards, a lot of really good players, and we were undersized for sure, but we made up for that with, getting up and down, picking up full court, really speeding up the game, and teams just had a hard time scoring with us. It's honestly a lot like the Storm, like how we're playing right now. We just had so many options.
Is that where your kind of sort of your 3-point offensive comes from then? Was it those days at high school that kind of made you like the 3-point guard style?
Definitely. I'd always really worked on my shooting and really valued that. But my coach really hammered it home that shooting was such an important skill to make you more lethal of a player. So ever since then, he definitely formed that in my mind, how important that was.
And then how was that as a transition then to University of Alabama, Huntsville, and that program there? Can you tell us a bit about that?
Can you repeat the last part of that question?
Yeah, just asking what it was like, your time at the UAH program at the Chargers.
So a little bit deeper of a structure. At first, when I got there, I was playing for a coach, Lenny Acuff, who was he's at Lipscomb now, up in Nashville. He moved to a Division I school, but he is an offensive savant. I mean, pace and space and cutting and layers to offense. And he really challenged me to start thinking about the game, a couple steps ahead and at deeper levels and making reads a little bit more. But yeah, fit perfectly into that as well, because we had, 5 guys out. We were always cutting and moving, and it helped create a lot of space for me being an undersized player, and just learning how to play off other guys. And just more the mental side of the game. Coach Acuff was great for that offensively. And then after my second year, Coach Acuff had left. John Schulman, he was the coach I finished at UAH with, and he just made me become a man, I would say. He challenged me in every way. And defensively, his schemes and the way that he could get guys to buy in and be accountable, I feel like he developed me so much. But yeah, we kept our offense pretty similar because we'd already recruited a lot of guys to play that same kind of Princeton style with the spacing and a lot of threes, which led perfectly from high school. I think my high school coach did a great job preparing me for the way the game was going to be played, and that next step for me to keep jumping up that next level.
Nice one.
Okay, good. We saw that the Chargers, they won the 2020, I think it was the Golf South Conference tournament. It's quite a decent tournament out there. So how was that? How did that feel?
Oh, that was as sweet can be. We had lost in the championship the year before. So we were a young team, really proved a lot of people wrong, and had a lot of success that my sophomore year, which was that 2019 year. And then to lose in the championship was really disheartening. So the next year to go and get the job done and finish what we started was amazing.
Was that like a playoff situation, the build up to the final, or?
Yes, so it's one game. The top 8 in the league.
So almost
will
like
make
NBA style feel.
Oh, sorry. What was the last thing you said?
I just sort of said, how did it feel sort of overall, really, about the sort of winning that conference? Or was it a sort of NBA style playoff?
No, it was only one-off games. So the top 8 would make the tournament, and then it was just you had the bracket, single elimination.
The same as they do in the NBL then. So it's first plays 8, second plays 7, etc.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Fair enough. Yeah, so a sweet moment then.
Yes, wonderful. And to do it with the guys that, I came in with, and we had built up a couple of years to that, it was really special, not only to win it and get the ring and have the banner and stuff like that, but to look around and see those guys, it was very special.
Oh, wow. So it's quite prestigious then. You get a ring, banner, like they do obviously in the NBA and stuff. Don't know if you heard that last bit.
No, I'm cutting out. I can try to hop on my phone or on a hotspot if that would be better. I know we're already recording, but
that's okay.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, no problem at all.
We've got your back, but whatever's easier for you, Seth.
Yeah, I'll do that. I don't know if it's going to mess it up, but I'll hop on my phone and it should be smoother.
Okay.
We'll talk amongst ourselves for a bit.
So, Seth, in your last season at the Chargers, you had some pretty good stats, averaging 12.5 points a game, shooting nearly 54% of 3 points, a season high of 21, double digits in half of the games. Can we expect at least that at Storm this season?
with us scoring over 100 points a game, I think we can get some points up there for me too.
I think I'd worked out actually the other day, and someone was asking this, one of the fans. I think there's only been about 2 games in which Storm haven't scored 100 points, which is quite staggering compared to like last season. I think it was more a sort of bit of a rarity to score 100 points. We were there or thereabouts. We weren't scoring solidly 100 points every single game.
Yeah, Yeah, I mean the game is going that way. It's more scoring, but I think it's rare that you see something over 100, and then to do it almost every single game is, yeah, it just speaks to our depth and our firepower this year.
Yeah, absolutely.
Definitely.
So I think one of the other things we were thinking about, Seth, was about your time in the Georgian A League with Jituni. Is it G? I'm not quite sure how you pronounce that. This one's all about pronunciation, but yeah, what was that like playing over in Georgia?
Yeah. Well, kind of to speak to that, the team name GT Uni is so our team had partnered up with the university for the funding side of it, but the GT, it's two separate words. There is no way I would ever be able to pronounce it, so I just always said GT Uni because it was very long and normally some symbols I didn't recognize.
Okay.
But speaking to my time there, that was definitely the hardest challenge, I think, was just the language barrier. And I don't know if it's more Eastern Europe or just Georgia in general, but that don't speak English there. And there were even a few of my teammates that spoke very minimal English, which made it pretty hard to communicate defensively. Your two actions are coming together and you want to switch, or, you're trying to talk through a play that just happened. And there were times where you're not really sure if you two are on the same page because you can't quite find the words to express there.
So how did you end up over there then? How did that sort of transpire?
Ooh, it was a very long process to get to that. So I think we're going to speak on it later, but I played with USA Select after college. Didn't get anything from USA Select, but came back and lived in Newcastle had my own place, but I came back there's a guy named Drew Lasker who played for the Newcastle Eagles for the longest time, extremely long career. But he was friends with the USA Select coach, Sean Kilmartin. They brought me back over just to train with the Eagles and help out with the Northumbria Bucks team. Not playing for either, but just to not be sitting at home, to be networking, be on this side of the ocean. Ended up getting in contact with a scouting service who had seen me on the tour, had seen me in a few scrimmages, and then contacted the GM of the team in GT Uni. So just looking back on it, it's kind of crazy that it even happened and the connection was made. But yeah, it was just one step after another. I was like, okay, yeah, I'll do it. Okay, yeah, I'll do it. Yeah, I'll be there. So found myself in basically the other side of the world.
Yeah.
It's a very different place culturally, isn't it? It's Georgia's very, very far from the UK and the US in terms of culture. So it must have been a big transition.
It was. Style of life, maybe the overall temperament of the people as well.
You must have been pretty. Sorry,
oh no.
Yeah.
But I've always been really open to learning and observing and very respectful of different cultures and stuff. So I didn't find it that hard to pick up, but I could see there were some guys that were from America in the league, and I could see they were just having a hard time. You could see their frustration on the court, and you'd run into people outside because we were all close to the same city, so you'd run into people and you just have conversations with them, and I could see that it was hard for a lot of people to get used to it.
How long were you there?
I was there I got there at the very end of November because the season had started short due to just a lack of funding from coming out of COVID. So the season started at the end of December. I was there end of November, and then we finished up in April. So 4 or 5 months, not too long.
Yeah.
Okay. You must have been pretty pleased with your first season, though. Just looking at the stats, you were averaging 12.5 points, 4 rebounds, 5 assists.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty good for someone who hasn't, who's only been there a matter of months.
Yeah, it was good. We were very strong last year. We actually went, since the season was only about half, we only got about half the games. And I think we played 15, 16 something games like that total. So our regular season was like 10, 12 games, something like that. We went undefeated in the regular season.
Oh, wow.
We were really strong. We had inside guys. We had some really good scoring guards, and it helped me get my assist numbers up and shoot a high percentage from the field just because they could never focus on me.
And
Good.
in that time you had there, Eurobasket.com named you as one of the starters in their second team of the year. That's some prestigious award. How did you feel about that?
It was very I was excited to hear that. I've never been one to play for awards, but it's always nice to hear that you were appreciated and people noticed, and just to see a lot of the hard work pay off, because that stuff does play in for the next season and helps you get recognized by other teams. And so it was good for the career to hear that. But yeah, especially the first professional year out of college, just to kind of take a deep breath and see the hard work kind of come to fruition, and just be reassured that you can do it and that it was all worth it.
Yeah, Tbilisi's quite a historic town as well, isn't it? Sounds like you had quite a bit, maybe some time. Did you get to experience anything like there's a big castle, I think, overlooking the city, and there's all sorts of Persian culture and stuff there, isn't there?
I did. I looked it up, and I've tried to check it to different sources, but I'm pretty sure that's where the Silk Road used to run. It was like right through the middle of Georgia and where Tbilisi was. But as many days as I had off, I was always out exploring. I would go and look at their markets. I was always trying new foods. There's one food in particular. It's called khachapuri. I know I butchered the sound that you have to make with the K there in the back of the throat, but it's basically just cheese bread, and then they put extra cheese on top. It was unbelievable. So,
cheese and bread's a winner, isn't it?
It's my idea of heaven.
Hard to mess up cheese and bread, and they do it right. But yeah, there's a castle that there's a really, really big castle that I went and explored with one of my teammates, and was able to get outside and, not just stay in the city. The one thing I should have done, it was one of our road games. We were playing in, where was it? I forget the name of the town, but it was really close to Batumi, which is on the Black Sea, I believe. And I didn't end up going. Just tired from the game, wanted to get back because I thought I'd have another chance to go. Well, turns out Russia invaded Ukraine, and by the end of the season, I didn't want to be any closer to Ukraine, in that direction.
Yeah,
so never ended up getting to go to the Black Sea, but I hear Batumi is just beautiful.
Yeah. Oh, glad you got to experience the culture there. It's not many people can say they've been in Tbilisi, I'm pretty sure.
Right.
And have you been making the cheesy bread since you've been in the UK? Have you brought the recipe back with you?
I haven't, but I've told so many people about it. I feel like I owe it to them to start cooking a little bit.
Nice. You touched on it a moment ago, Seth, about playing for the USA select team. I know you played against Storm in 2021 and you dropped 32 points on us. Did playing in front of the Storm crowd that evening have any influence, or did you recollect how sort of noisy they were at the time and think, wow, I'd love to be part of that?
Yes, so much. My last year at university in Alabama, it was right after COVID, so that we could only have X amount of fans. It just felt empty. In most gyms, sometimes you wouldn't even have fans, and it was really just your team, and it just felt so quiet, and there wasn't a ton of energy. It almost felt like a scrimmage or a practice sometimes when you'd go to games. So coming out of that and then going into the arena with all the Storm fans, and I remember, and it came down to the end. I believe it was Bodie came off the screen. I don't know who he hit on the roll, but they scored to go up 2 with, maybe 10 seconds left. And I remember I couldn't really hear anything. It was so loud in there. So I remember in that moment recognizing, I was like, this is awesome. I was like, this place is really, really special.
I was at that game and I remember thinking, who's this guy that's coming here and trying to stamp all over us? And and then like, obviously I looked up who you were and stuff, and then as soon as your name was like announced in pre-season, I was like, wow, what a signing if he can do that every week. So high expectations for you, Seth, but it's like it's not very often you have an opposing player come to the Storm Dome and you think, oh, we need him here, if you know what I mean. It's But it's good that the Storm crowd kind of attracted you as well, because it is known to be one of the best places to play in the NBL.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
Sorry, didn't mean to interrupt. Just going back to that, I remember when we had Jack on the podcast, and he said that I think you hit a deep three or something like that, and Jack said you just turned around and gave him a look, as if to say, I've just done that to you.
And I am not I don't talk trash. I really don't do anything extra. I just focus on the game. I do my job. And sometimes I'll have a little passion or fire, like for our team or to celebrate something, but I don't know what came into me. I remember I pump faked. Jack flew right by. I hit it, and I turned and I stared at him as I was walking back, and I was like, I don't know why I just did that, but it felt pretty
good. Jack definitely remembers, Seth. So I'll be surprised if he hasn't wiped you out in training a few times since.
Yeah.
Knowing Jack now, I have never been happier of something I've done in my life.
The USA Select organization is renowned for helping young players with their career. Obviously, you played at Storm with them. How much did they help with? And you mentioned it earlier when you were up in Newcastle and stuff. How much of an influence were they on sort of where you are at the moment?
Yeah, I was dead in the water if I didn't have them. And I didn't even realize how important it was going to be to have that relationship and have that connection. So had nothing out of college, and found an agent, and there's only so much an agent can do with a 5'10" guy that's not super athletic, that played at a Division II school, that didn't have the best, wasn't averaging 20 a game. We played a team system, and not everybody was all highlighted. So, I really don't know if I would be playing if it weren't for them. And that's all I've ever wanted to do. So I'm eternally grateful to them. And they do it year after year. They're placing guys all over the place just with their connections. And teams also know that they keep doing that. So they're always reaching out, trying to get the next best player from USA Select. And then even beyond that, after I played last year in Georgia, they're calling me, I actually only have the Hemel Storm job because I believe they were reaching out to Sean Kilmartin, and Coach Kilmartin reached out to me and said, let's push for this. Let's try to get you there. And there was so much done behind the scenes that I probably don't even know about them talking and trying to network for me. So yeah, I'm extremely grateful to those guys, because I wouldn't have been able to pursue my dream if it wasn't for them.
That's lovely to hear. And obviously, you're here at Storm, and obviously we're all super pleased about that. How have you found life at Storm so far, Jack Burnell aside?
Oh, it's been awesome. No complaints at all. The life off the court is, I feel like I have a community. I have people that check in on me. I'm making friends, people that I'm going to stay in contact with and be friends with for a lifetime, after this, and getting to do a little bit of coaching on the side and helping out, the next generation and inspiring the next player to step up and pursue their dream. And then on the court, we have great camaraderie. We have great chemistry. We're winning basketball games. Not every day is perfect. Like, teams go through, stuff all the time, but we're growing together and we move past stuff. And Coach Drew is challenging everybody, making them get better. And, I feel like I've become a better player even since I've stepped foot here. And it's been, a quick 2 months, I would say. So I'm really, really, really enjoying it.
That's great. That's great to hear. So you've continued your rich vein of form then at Storm. You're averaging, I was looking at the stats earlier, you're averaging 15.4 points a game and 56.7% from behind the arc. I mean, wow. What would you attribute your consistency to? Because you just kept it up from your sort of college days and onto GT Uni. Hopefully I pronounced that right.
Nailed it.
Yes.
I always say it's just reps for me. It's muscle memory. It's finding a way in a gym and trying to get shots up every single day, as many makes as I can see. When I get the chance to see the ball go through the basket day after day, and I'm working on game shots, game speed, it's, you build the muscle memory, you build the comfort, you condition your body, but even more so just mentally for me, it just makes my confidence go up and up. And just knowing when I've caught the ball coming off an action, or someone drives and kicks it, or you come off a screen and that you have a little bit of space, it's just knowing I've made this thousands of times, and you just shoot with a little bit more freedom. And that's just always been my approach. I put in as much work as I possibly can. And so that's where my confidence comes from. And shooting is so much of that confidence. And you hear a lot of NBA guys talk about it. Like I listened to Damian Lillard in a post-game interview. He was talking about the exact same thing. He was just saying reps, reps, reps. It's good for your body, mind, and spirit. You know, it's the way to go. But yeah, just working really, really hard and trying to be consistent with it as much as I can.
I think we've heard that on almost every podcast that we've asked is about reps.
Yeah.
How much is also about like technique and shooting technique, or compared to reps? Because it seems like there's a lot of different styles, but there's probably some fundamentals in there.
Mm-hmm. I am fascinated with the art of shooting and how the body plays into it, how the mind plays into it. I think there are some general techniques, some things that would help with consistency and help with being able to just repeat the same shot and maybe having a higher release is better for getting the shot off cleanly. So there's a lot of different right ways to do it, but I never think there's anything wrong with the more you do something, I think the better you get at it. And again, there's so many different approaches to shooting the basketball. I've got friends that prefer less reps, but it's all about feel. So it's as long as I leave the gym and it feels good, then I'm good to go. And I had a lot of really, really successful shooting teammates in the past at all different levels that would take that approach. And so, everybody approaches a little bit different. It's fascinating just to see what clicks and what works, because it's so unique to each person.
That's interesting.
Just going back to the stats, as I touched on there, I noticed you're in the elite tier of NBL 3-point shooters. You're right up there.
I didn't know that, actually.
Yeah, no, you are. Yeah, you are. Looked the other day. These two know I'm a real stats geek, massive stats geek. Literally, I'm checking the stats every day, all day. I could do it all day long. This stuff, I really, really love it. I'm such a nerd.
You find some fascinating.
There you go. Yeah, you can. Yeah, you can. Yeah, we're finding out stuff about Jack's dad, John. He was shooting 63% from beyond the arc in his day.
At that day too, people were probably getting mad at him for shooting threes.
Yeah. Jack said they didn't have a 3-point line when his dad used to play.
But we talked about the 3-point percentage to make sure everyone touches wood. I'm not superstitious, but yeah, just a little bit there.
Oh, I wonder what you were doing then. Actually, I thought, is he tired?
No,
I thought he's not getting bored already, is he?
I thought he was putting his hand up to ask a question.
Oh, okay. You don't have to be that formal, Seth. You're amongst friends here. Just chat.
That's my Southern manners coming out. I'm just going to start raising my hand. Yes, sir. No, sir. Yes, ma'am. No, ma'am.
The Storm team this season in particular seems to pride themselves on their defense. How important is that aspect to your game?
Oh, it's extremely important. I think not only to my game, but to everyone's game. Half the game is played on both ends of the floor, or on either end of the floor. So I think just being able to, I'm not the most gifted athlete, and I don't have extreme length on the defensive end. So I think what I can be great and bring for the team is just a lot of communication, energy, trying to make sure everyone's on the same page with our schemes and our coverages. So just trying to be a leader on that end, so I don't find myself under the hoop guarding someone much bigger than me. But yeah, it is very important to me, because I think if you can guard and buy yourself some extra possessions, then you're not putting nearly as much pressure on the offensive end, which I don't think anybody plays deep or offense uptight and under pressure. So as much space as you can buy yourself and a little bit of wiggle room, when the game's getting tight, you can always rely on your defense. So, and I've always taken pride on the defensive end, because if you want to be a complete player, you have to be able to guard your man too.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting. You do you bring a lot of agility though and speed into the team, as well as a lot of kind of like dribbling skills and stuff like that. Is there how do you find amongst the team? Is it competitive about sort of ball handling and sort of skills, or how do you find that?
Are you saying competitive is do we all talk about it and kind of compare and stuff like that, or
I guess more, where do people see themselves in terms of that skill set?
I think it's something that everyone tries to get better at, but me being undersized, I just am gifted with quickness, and I've relied on it so long for my career that I'm just most comfortable when I'm running as fast as I possibly can. I think some guys have longer legs than me, so they can always kind of catch me if they want to get moving, but I definitely do bring a lot of energy, and I'm always taking a lot of pride in my conditioning and making sure that the game's everyone's getting winded and the game's getting long, that I'm going to be the same player in the fourth as I am in the first.
Yeah, great.
Yeah, one thing I'd like to ask, actually, how does it feel for you playing in front of the Storm crowd as opposed to like playing at college or high school or GT uni? How is that experience different? Because I mean, it was only last season Storm fans got voted the best match day experience in the NBL, which I think is pretty accurate.
I'm not shocked to hear that at all. And I haven't been to, I've only been to a few places because we haven't had that many away games, but I can already tell that the way that our fans travel to away games, they're taking over gyms when they go. So when you step into our home crowd, we know we're going to have the advantage, and it makes a world of difference when you can. And it's not like you hear anything in like one in particular, because it's interesting when you're on the court, you really only hear teammates and coaches. I don't know how that works, but those voices and noises always just kind of pierce your ears. But you can feel the energy, you can feel the buzz, you can hear it. There is that level that it just raises it. But as to compare it to my university, the type of the crowd is actually very similar. We would have the same people coming to our games. Our team, our coach, because our coach, especially my first 2 years, was there for 20 years. So he helped build that program from the ground up. And it started out as just friends and family coming to watch him. But over time, it was relationships. So after the game, you would stand around on the court and people would come and talk to you and ask how you're doing. And it wasn't just basketball, but it was, how's your family? How are your parents? How are your siblings? How's this going? How's school going? Is there anything we can help you with? So very similar crowd, because now, we finish a game, the kids come up, make you feel like a superstar. You're signing basketballs, which is so much fun. And then, you have people come up and they're hugging you and asking how you're doing. And you saw them at training a couple days before. So it just feels more like a family. So it's I'll give UAH credit. It's much like the Storm, but I don't think many professional organizations will get the comfort with the crowd and the same relationships that are here. It's one of a kind. It really is.
So it's pretty much a home from home then for you, really.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Great situations. I've been blessed.
What I kind of took from that, Seth, was that you want us all to come and give you a hug after the game. Is that right?
I'm sweaty and my jersey's dripping. So if you guys want it, I'm all for it.
I think I'll be all right. Thanks, Seth.
We'll just go high five, or we'll wave.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, yeah.
I always appreciate a good thumbs up to just throw it out there.
Yeah, that's fine. No problem at all.
In the summer, when we found out that Taylor was going to play his second season, we were signing yourself, Hakeem, Charles, Bernard. There was a lot of optimism from Storm fans, probably more than I've seen in the few years I've been going. And that's now kind of obviously come off on the court. What have you made to the start of the season?
Well, first talking about the buzz around the signings. As soon as my name was on the Storm page one time, I was getting followers left and right. My notifications were going crazy. I woke up one morning and I was like, I just got myself into something pretty cool, because my phone just keeps buzzing. So that was fun to see. But yeah, the start of the year has been great. I think the best thing is that we can get a whole lot better. I mean, we've been scoring at a high clip, and that's just, we have so many talented guys and we're so deep, but there's still just a bunch of small things that we can keep getting better at. And we've already seen improvement, so we know it's there. We know we can do it. We know the steps we need to take. But yeah, I think we can get I think we can get pretty scary good.
Yeah, brilliant.
This is what we love to hear.
Absolutely. And you mentioned about since joining and with Drew's coaching that there've been improvements in your game. What areas do you think you've seen improving in your game since joining the program?
I think the depth of knowledge of the game. I think it's just awareness in the moment, decision making, finding guys in the right spots. Maybe harping more on the duties of what the team expects of me. Yeah, I mean, there's just so many things defensively. There's a lot of schemes that we've used that I may have used in the past just a couple times in certain games with certain matchups, but yeah, the way we cover people and the way we're rotating out, and that I think also the standard that Drew is holding everyone to. He always says, we say we want to be great. We say it's going to take these things to be great. Well, now it's time to do it. And I think the accountability factor it's hard not to grow whenever you have a coach that cares enough to, hold you to that standard that we've all established that we want to be at, and, remind you on those days where it may not be easy, but it is the right choice.
Yeah. Awesome.
One thing we've noticed on the court, you're very vocal, Seth. I mean, has that always been the case throughout your career? Does it sort of come naturally to you? Do you find directing plays easy, or?
I do, which is interesting. I'm not necessarily shy, but I'm very soft-spoken off the court. Not always loud and boisterous, but as soon as I step onto the court, I just get all my yelling out. I'm yelling at guys. I'm, yelling plays. I'm yelling over to coach. I'm yelling at myself sometimes. I just get a little bit louder on the court.
Let it all out.
Yeah, I think that came. I had a coach when I was pretty young who knew that I cared a lot about it and was going to he could see that I was going to pursue basketball as long as I could. And he was able to play university in the States. And he just was harping to me. One of the main things was just communicating on the floor. And he was like, you better go ahead and make it second nature, because it'll be that much easier of a transition when you get older. That's one less thing you have to worry about. So even at a young age, he was telling me that was important. So I started working on it before I even realized that it was going to be useful later on.
We talked earlier about the quality of the signings that Storm made in the summer and then our start to the season as well. Do you think there's a good chance we could win some silverware this season?
I do think so. As long as we keep doing the right things and keep buying in and keep improving together and build that chemistry, I don't know how much of a limit there's going to be to this team.
The fact that we're only 2 months into the season and the team's gelled so well, and obviously the players that come off the bench and that add something as well. So I think if we're talking again in February, we could be up another level again, hopefully.
Yes, I think there'll just be all these ladder rings that we're just climbing throughout the year. I think it's just going to be trending upward.
Yeah. And I guess outside of basketball, how have you found living in England? Are you enjoying things here?
I am. It's always a good thing when everyone speaks English or some form of it.
Yeah, it must be obviously a big difference from Georgia, right? But yeah, you're settling in well in Hemel and enjoying life here.
Mm-hmm. The weather's been pretty mild too. It's been very enjoyable.
Yeah,
I can still walk around and explore the city, and sometimes I hop on a bike and just go for a ride. And it's been, yes, the weather's been great. Food's been really good. My parents came a couple weeks ago. They came for the Loughborough game, and the Brunels were so nice. Took us to Saffron in the Old Town.
Oh yeah.
Oh, the Indian restaurant. Yeah, it's lovely.
My mom she could die for some Indian food. And she said that was the best Indian food that she's ever had.
Wow.
Yes. So either that was really good or our standards are really low. But either way, we had a great time.
As long as you had a good time, that's the main thing, right?
Well, we know where to book for the Storm end of season party now, haven't we?
I'll be there if it's there.
Down the Saffron. Yeah. Oh, good. You'd be very welcome, Seth. Very welcome.
Does that mean your mum will be making more visits just so she can go for her favorite Indian restaurant?
If she does, it'll be because I say we've already booked something at Saffron.
Good stuff.
Good stuff, yeah. So you're involved a program called Season Builder, which is all about personal transformation. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah. So it started with at UH, my university in Alabama. We had a character coach. His name was Taylor Edge, and he has a passion for helping young adults, the people that are, and honestly, the program applies to so many people, but his passion is just people that are about to move into that season of life where they start becoming responsible for their own decisions and making big life decisions and kind of move out on their own. And he has made a framework, and he calls it Season Builder, and it basically helps young adults look ahead at the next season of life, so 6 months to a year, and basically you shape like, okay, if I could have everything go right, like what are my goals and dreams for that next year? What do I want my next season to look like? And then you dial it back to the day-to-day of what are the steps that I need to take to get there. So it's establishing your principles, your values, your daily habits, and then also it's prioritizing growth, because if you don't change, nothing will. So yeah, I've gone through Season Builder twice. It's about a couple month program, or 12 weeks exactly, or so. But yeah, we still talk almost every day, and not just about Season Builder stuff, but yeah, Taylor Edge, we've been growing our relationship ever since he was the character coach at Alabama Huntsville.
Character coach, that sounds like such a great role, sort of like a great thing to have.
Yes, it was a blessing for our program to have, and we already had very, very quality people there, but he was able to just meet with the guys one-on-one, and people always have stuff going on, and people always want to just kind of vent or talk, or hey, I've been doing this, I want my life to look more like this. It just helps with character building.
Yeah, knowing that you want to make a change in your life, but then having the process to how you get there and breaking it into manageable chunks is a skill that you don't always learn, right? So it's a great thing to have and get into early, I think. Really cool.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Yeah, it just teaches you how to build those systems to get more of what you want out of life.
Yeah, great.
Have you watched much footage of the NBL outside of obviously the playing in the Storm games? Have you seen much of the other teams in action? I have. We've watched a lot of times Friday nights we'll go over to Jack's house and we'll put on just some games there. Most of the time we try to prioritize a team that we're going to play either in the next couple of weeks, but sometimes we just want to watch good games. And yeah, there's a lot of good basketball being played in this league.
Anyone in particular looking forward to playing?
I don't know if I want to give them that power. I'll just say everybody.
Yeah, fair enough.
I'm looking forward to playing everybody and beating.
That's the right answer, Seth.
Good answer.
Is there from what you have seen on YouTube or whatever, is there any other arena, like any other locations that look like it would be a good place to play? Obviously Essex on Saturday, that was awesome. A big arena, really good, really good fun going down there. Is there anything else that you've seen? I was going to say Essex, and at certain flashes during the game, their little jumbotron screen, it looked real good.
Yeah.
We're going to come on to that, Seth, in a little while.
I saw that on the list. I won't touch on that yet, but I'm trying to think of some other places. Let me think. There's some cities that I'm really excited to see. I know most of the gyms are pretty similar, and I do like how unique they are. I love playing in different gyms. Whenever I go to a new gym and I'm about to play a game, I always try to get a picture just for memories, because I have a fascination with unique basketball gyms that just aren't the typical cut and dry mold.
Yeah.
Okay. You form part of the Russell Hoops coaching program, obviously with some of the other Storm guys, with Jack and Aaron and Taylor. How's that been so far for you?
It's been great. I think it's a great way for us to be just involved in the community. I think it means a lot to the kids to have someone to look up to and to have someone that has dedicated a large percentage of their life to teaching them something that they're passionate about. And it also gets people to the games. And I think a lot of times when we do, like tonight at our academy nights, you see a lot of people that come to the Storm games. And I think it's a great way just to keep building relationships and pay it forward, pass on to the next generation.
Yeah, definitely.
Do you have any basketball heroes? Is there any players in particular you kind of model your game and style
on? One of my favorite players is Facu Campazzo. I don't know if you guys know him. He used to play for Real Madrid in the Euro League, and then most recently he played for the Nuggets, and now he's with Dallas. But he's 5'9", looks exactly like me. He's a jet. He just runs around, shoots threes, throws crazy passes. So the fact that he made an NBA roster and was one of the best players in the Euro League for the last however long just kind of shows me that, you may be undersized, you may not fit the description, but it can be done. And, it just takes heart, passion, and just a lot of hard work.
So do you follow a lot of the European basketball?
I do. I like watching the Euro League, and I watch a lot of the NBL Australia as the two I probably keep up with the most.
Do you have a favorite team in each league? Sorry, Rob. Sorry.
That's okay.
So last year I really liked Barcelona. Talking from Facu to now a different player, I love Nick Kalathis, tall point guard, pass first. He's just so creative and so smart with the game that, he's really, really enjoyable to watch. But he's now, I think, at Fenerbahce. So I haven't really picked a new favorite team. I still like Barcelona a lot. Really, I'm a big fan of their coach. I know he was a really successful player, and he's a brilliant coach. So just love watching the sets they run, the way they guard people, the creativity of their players. They always have such fun players to watch. And then NBL Australia, I've got a pretty close friend that plays for Tasmania down in, I think it's Hobart on the island. They just created a team and made them an addition to the league last year. They made it all the way to the championship. So that was really, really fun to watch. And so, yeah, Tasmania, the Jack Jumpers, that's my team in the NBL.
Oh, wow. Have you been out to watch any of the European games at all, given it's fairly close to where you are in the last year or so?
I haven't. I really wanted to. On my way home from Georgia last year, I looked into, I think it was around the time they were going into playoffs, but the tickets were so expensive, and I ended up needing to get home. So I didn't get to watch, but I really, really want to catch a game any chance I get since I'm over here.
Yeah, I've watched a lot of the footage over the last few years, and it's just the fan base is crazy, isn't it? They're letting off flares and stuff inside the game. They're getting like 15 to 20,000. They've almost got like NBA size attendance.
It's insane. Yeah, and they all have the gear. They all have the jerseys. I mean, that doesn't just happen overnight. They've been fans of the program and the teams for probably since they were born. Yeah.
It's quite a lot of players now playing the NBA that started off playing in the European. I mean, Luka in particular, Luka Doncic. He's phenomenal. I've seen a lot of his footage playing for Real Madrid, and he was just phenomenal.
I know everyone says this, that they knew it was coming. When he was 16, I think is when he first started playing for Real Madrid, and I was watching a few of their games. And I just remember, I was like, okay, he'll be in the NBA. He'll be a really good player. I think he has a chance to be one of the best ones. And didn't really tell many people that, so I don't know if I have any credit for my story, but I always thought Luka was going to be really good.
Yeah, he certainly is. Yeah, he started ever so well this season, isn't he?
He's unreal. It's his usage too is so high. He's responsible for like pretty much all of their offense, whether he's shooting it or creating a wide open shot for someone else.
Yeah, big impact. I know you've mentioned a few of your coaches through your career, Seth. Do you have a particular kind of the biggest influence on your career? And is it inside basketball or is it outside, do you think?
So I have had a lot of really influential ones, and it seems like they all came at the exact right time. Whether it was I knew that time was coming or not, sometimes it just caught me by surprise. And at the time, it looked like a challenge, but you look back and you're so grateful that that coach did exactly what he did, and he was the person that he was at that time. I've been blessed with really good coaches all along the way. So I can't really say one in particular, but I will say off the court, I think in general in my life, Taylor Edge with Season Builder, he has been probably the biggest influence on the way that I live my day-to-day life, and the way I interact with people, and the way I treat relationships and the people I care about, and just how I model how I want to be, I think was very heavily influenced by Taylor Edge.
So it's interesting that you say that, but I think it certainly comes across that you're kind of coachable, as if you know what I mean. And I think that can sometimes be something that holds people back, that they're not necessarily open to change or hearing different opinions and things like that. Is that also something that came through that program, or is that just something that's natural, or through the fact that you've had good coaches around you?
I want to say I've always been coachable, but I feel like as a teenager, I don't think most guys are coachable. So I probably got a coach that'll hear this and be like, "You were anything but easy." I think I've gotten more coachable the older I've gotten, and then you see the fruits of being coachable, and you look at it and you say, "What? Well, if that works, why would I stop?" So I'm always open to taking in more information, and trying to formulate my opinion on it and apply it. And these I've always really appreciated talking to someone and learning from someone that is multiple years down the road from me. They've been around the curve, they know what's coming, they've been through it, they've lived it, they found a way through it. And most of the time people want to look and share that knowledge. So why wouldn't you stop and listen and keep an open mind? And you can always learn something. You can always learn something that's going to help out in the future. Always.
Love it. Yeah,
absolutely. You spoke a moment ago about some of your favorite players. Who do you have a sort of dream team, like past and present players from across the leagues, or from the NBL, Euro League, or NBA, or is that too tough to call?
I don't know if I could put together like a starting five and be like, this is the best team ever. But I do have some players that I really like to watch. Do you guys want five of those?
Yeah, go for it. Yeah.
Okay. Number one, Facu Campazzo, the Jet. He's the guy. I really like. There's a wing at Barcelona right now, Nicola Laprovitola. If you have a chance, go look him up. He is. I think it's very similar to the position that I'm in right now with the Storm. He can run the point, but he's also asked to be in a scoring position a lot, and he shoots it so well from the perimeter. He's someone that I watch just a lot of, just to see where he's the best at, and where he's creating new looks and stuff like that. Obviously he's in the NBA, but a foreign player also, more so than just it's Giannis Antetokounmpo, but more so than his play style, the way that he talks about his approach to life and basketball and the processes. You can tell he works at it so much, just the mental side of the game, and just growing as a person. Anytime he has an interview or like a side conversation, he's always dropping such good knowledge. I really, really, really like the way that Nikola Jokic plays. Some of the passes that he's throwing is crazy.
Yeah, for a guy his height as well, it's staggering, isn't it?
Oh, I know, because he's so fluid with his movements, and he may not be the fastest, but he always finds an angle to throw a pass, and he throws them like darts, like they're on a line and they're hitting them right in the hands. So yeah, I love watching Jokic play. There's a guy, Kyle Adnam, Coach Drew told me to watch him in the NBL. He plays for Southeast Melbourne. He's an undersized, I would say undersized. He's a smaller guard that shoots it really well from the perimeter. Love watching his style of play. He just has a lot of fire and passion, and it's someone that I would love to model my game after. So a bunch of random names there. So it's not a dream team by any sorts. I don't know how many games we would win, but it's some of my favorite players at the moment.
Yeah,
Definitely gives us some videos to check out after as well.
It does, yeah.
Yeah.
I was just going to ask a quick
Fun
question.
basketball.
You touched on playing a couple of different positions there. Do you have a preference? Do you prefer playing point guard or shooting guard, or are you happy to sort of marry the two?
I like doing both. I do. Playing with such talented scorers and guys that can really create for others too, like Taylor and Akeem draws so much help. Rye will drive and have 4 people guarding him, and he's making the right play. Sam Newman, such a great passer. So playing off the ball when guys like that are creating shots, you're basically gonna be standing by yourself, and you have an easy job. Just make the shot when they throw it to you. So it is fun to play off the ball and to show those skills that I work on. But I'm a pretty selfless person. By default, I tend to pass first a lot. So I do like being at the point and creating for others, and just trying to get other guys, make their life a little easier too. So I like doing both. I'm very happy.
Okay.
You talked about 5 guys that you like watching. Similar-ish question, but who's the best player you've ever played with? And then also the same question, but who you've played against?
Oh man, I played with some guys who really could get after it. Some of the guys in the team this year, I mean, guys that we're playing with now are up there and lead the league in a lot of categories. And so yeah, I mean, everybody I'm playing with right now is on that list. We've got some really good players. I played with a 4-man, JJ Kaplan at Alabama Huntsville. He's now playing in Israel. He's actually in first league there. He's just an incredible rebounder, one of the best rebounders I've ever seen. He just has a nose for the ball. Sam Orth was an All-American his senior year. He was a 2-guard for me. We played 4 years together at Alabama Huntsville. He just could score the ball, physical, athletic guard. He played in Austria last year. I don't know if you can consider playing with, but most summers when I go home, there's the point guard for Tasmania. He lives in the same town that I work out in. So we normally play together and pick up. So Jet, he is by far the best point guard that I've ever been around. The way that he sees the game and the way he thinks about it, the passes he can make, just the competitor he is. I mean, that's one of the best players I've ever been around.
Okay.
Can you attract him? Can you attract him to Storm for next season? Do you think?
I'll talk to him. No promises though. I think you asked against too. I'll have this memory burned in my brain forever. So my freshman year, first year playing at Alabama Huntsville, we had an exhibition game at the very beginning of the season. So my first collegiate game, with being I guess it's an official game, was against the University of Alabama in Tuscaloosa. So SEC school, like unbelievable recruiting, great athletes. They're just getting better and better every year. There's a guy named Herb Jones. He plays for the New Orleans Pelicans now. I think he's 6'8", 6'9", with probably an over 7-foot wingspan. He was guarding me on the wing. I was driving left to the baseline. He is on my opposite hip. He reaches around my back with his 7-foot arms and takes the ball and pulls it away from me. So, and now he's doing that to NBA players. So I will say that is the best player I've ever played against.
And it's left a bit of a scar by the sound of things as well.
Yeah, just a little bit.
Awesome. We noticed that GT Uni, and obviously now you're wearing number 8. Is there a significance behind that number, or a particular reason for picking that number?
In the States, you can only go to 5. You can't go above it with your number. So you can be 55, you could be 45, but neither digit can go above 5. I think that's for the officials when they go to the table, so they can put up their hands and it always be under 5.
Okay.
That's that's what I've always thought, and I think someone told me that. I think that's accurate. But so yeah, I've always, looking at the professional game, I always told myself I'd be something over 5, but I didn't want to go into double digits. So last year I wanted 7, but 7 was taken, so I was 8. So that was my number. I latched on to 8.
Just keep it below 10, right?
Yeah, I don't think I was getting 7 from Jack either.
No, I don't. When we had Jack on the podcast, he said his granddad used to wear it in football. His dad used to wear 7 when he played basketball. So yeah, I think the chances of wrestling away that from Jack are pretty slim.
I think he said when he takes the shirt off, the 7 is still there. Right. It's been on so long.
It's like a suntan underneath.
Yeah, basically. I went to, so Eric, John's dad, I've been to his house a few times, and he's got this basketball memory room where he's got pictures and posters and pamphlets of just the whole family's basketball history. And all you see is 7s just everywhere. So I told myself, I was like, all right, I'm glad I didn't even ask Jack for 7, because I'd have been shot down so quick.
One question we asked Taylor and Jack, what motivates you? Do you find it easy to sort of just flick that switch and go straight into game mode? Is that something that comes easy to you?
I'm driven by just the love of basketball. It doesn't matter if I'm playing it, watching it, around it, coaching it. I love basketball, and I do love playing basketball more than any of those things. Just, it can be a pickup game, it can be a workout, it can be a game. I think I was not blessed with the ability to turn it on and off, so I just leave it on all the time.
Yeah, good answer.
So I don't think it's ever a certain approach to a game day, but I'm trying to bring the same intensity and the same passion, and there's just a deeper burning love of basketball that is always on for practice. You know, a workout, whether it's by myself with a bunch of people, whether it's a gym with a lot of people or nobody, it's always pretty much the same approach.
Do you have any like pre-match superstitions or rituals, like put your left sock on first, or put your right sneaker on first, or anything like that?
I do tie my laces a certain way on game day. I do that.
Oh, you're the first one to say you've got one, because Jack and Taylor didn't really have one, I don't think.
It's very minor, and if I didn't do it, I probably wouldn't even realize. But I always, just when I'm tying my laces, there's a certain way that I like to do it, and I think it started out with just a look. I like the look of even just the details down on the shoes. But tie my laces a certain way. I always try to get a pregame nap, something short, like 20-ish minutes in, just kind of flicker those lights for just a second. And then it used to be it basically just a little bit of caffeine before, just to kind of get that extra boost of energy. It used to be a drink called Spark, and you can only get it back home, and I don't have it when I'm overseas. So when I'm here, I always do a coconut berry Red Bull right before the game. So that's my go-to.
Mm.
And do you have, talking about like your go-to drink pre-game, do you have like a certain meal on the morning or the afternoon of the game?
No. I just try to make sure I eat a couple hours before. I've never had a problem with, my stomach being heavy or, anything like that. I can pretty much eat anything as long as it's somewhat healthy. I'm not going to do something that's just picking out, but no, nothing's particular on the food aspect.
Okay.
Fair enough. Right, we're going to move on now to my favourite part of the podcast, and one I get mocked for severely. Sneakers. We gather you're somewhat of a sneakerhead, Seth.
I
so
am.
Can you tell us what it is about sneakers that appeals to you? Talk us through your collection, what your preferences, etc.
Oh my, what a great question.
I'm rubbing my hands right now.
Oh, my heart's beating fast right now.
So's Frazz's.
It is, yeah, big time.
I don't know what started it. No one in my family was like it. I've got a bunch of siblings. I've got 6 other siblings, and four of them are older, and none of them were into shoes. My parents weren't really into shoes. I just, at a young age, I mean, probably 15-ish, that's when I really started being like, oh, wow. Like, I just really like the way that shoe looks. I like the way that shoe looks. I'm really partial to white shoes. Love white shoes, especially like day-to-day, like casual shoes. I almost always have a white pair of shoes on, which actually does not go well in England with the rain. And
no, not so much.
No. The two shoes that I definitely spend most of my time and energy on and money is basketball shoes and then training shoes. So stuff I'm wearing to the weight room, stuff I'm wearing to the, to go for a run, or what I'm wearing to the basketball court. When I'm playing, I pretty much only play in Kobe's. Pretty much the only thing I'm going to wear nowadays. Which is also tough because ever since he passed away, it's been really difficult to get them.
Yeah. Well, it's a shame because a lot of these sort of resellers are just buying them up, aren't they? And
outrageous prices.
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, the public can't just get anywhere close to them. That's half the problem, really. So
yeah, I know it's
pretty scandalous.
Is there another style if you have, if you can't get hold of Kobe's? Is there another type of basketball shoes that you've worn before and like? Sorry, Fraz,
I've had a
you probably wanted to ask that.
How dare you?
Good question. Yeah, if I can't get Kobe's, I'm going to try to get something that's as close as possible, which is that lower cut. I want them to be really light, and I want the traction to be really, really strong. And whatever that would be, the Giannis's, the Antetokounmpos, I think they call them like the Greek freaks. Those have been really, really close to the Kobe's. I like those a lot. I actually wear those in practice, so I don't mess up my Kobe's in practice. I wear those.
Good man.
Yeah.
Any others you fans? Sorry, go on. Sorry.
Yeah. Paul George's. Especially the early ones. I like the later ones too, but the early ones were really, really nice. And I'm going to show you these. So there were.
Here we go.
Calm down, Fraz.
I wasn't expecting this. I had to see.
I saw a couple pictures of these, and I looked up a performance review, and it was saying it was about as close as you can get to the Kobe, especially the Kobe 8, if you remember that one with like the drop-in sole. I don't know if you remember that exactly, but it is the Dwayne Wade's, the new Dwayne Wade's, and like the inside, into a detailed thing here, but like the inside you can actually like pull completely out. I'm not going to do it. You can see it though. So it's, if you ever saw the Kobe 8s, basically the same shoe, identical.
Okay.
So yeah, they don't look like those ones. They don't look like you've worn them, Seth.
I've worn them at practice. I just do a good job of cleaning up if they get to me.
Any others? Are you a fan of Jordans? You a fan of Jordans at all, or?
I was for a while, but I did not like the feeling of going out and constantly having to look at my feet and wondering if I messed them up. It just made me so anxious. So I've got some Jordans at home. I've got some Jordan 4s. I've got some Jordan 7s. I've got some 11s. I've got some 13s. I've got some 10s.
Wow.
I've got some 6s. And yeah, that's it. But really, it's I rarely wear them. I just like having them, which is terrible, but I do. I just like looking at it. I'll take them out of the box and just check them out.
It's funny, Teo said the same. I was chatting to him on Saturday night after the game. Yes, it's game on the way home. And he's a massive sneakerhead, isn't he? Big time. I'm really into him.
I can tell.
And he said as well, I think he just likes to have them in a case and just display them, or won't necessarily wear them, just likes to pull them out and look at them now and again.
Where were we going? We were heading back to Reading the second time, and we had gotten on the bus. We always meet at the Holiday Inn. I ran over to the M&S, grabbed a coffee, put it on the little folding down thing. We take off in the first turn, and I wasn't holding the coffee. Teo's completely stretched out. His shoes are facing me. The coffee misses his Jordans by an inch and exploded on the floor. And me and him both froze, but everybody froze and just like looked at his shoes from like top to bottom. Like, are we good? Are we good? we could care less about the coffee, and I felt so bad that I even put Teo in that much of a risk because they were sitting right there, like he trusted me enough to put him close to me, you know.
Thanks for that. It's good to get a little insight. It's nice to chat with a fella sneakerhead, really, because Jack, when we had him on, he said, I'm not interested in them at all. He plays in like a pair of $25 sneakers, he said, that have got holes in. And that'll do him, he said. But it's funny, actually. You'd almost expect every basketball player to be really into them because they're your sort of bread and butter. They're your uniform, aren't they?
Tools of the trade.
Yeah, exactly. That's the word I was looking for.
They're a tool, one of your tools.
Yeah. So you got to ensure that they're the best that they can be, in my opinion.
Exactly. You got to sharpen your axe, right?
Oh,
Exactly.
I like that. I like that.
Are they only Nikes that you normally go for, Seth, or do you look at some of the other brands that, like, I don't know, some of the James Harden Adidas ones or old Allen Iverson ones with Reebok or whatever? Is there any others you like? Or
this is part of the pronunciation. The first one was that Nike. That's how I pronounce it.
Oh
Yeah, he was saying Nike.
Yeah. Sorry. Yeah.
Okay. I do normally go with Nike on a lot of things. I found a couple of good running shoes. I like Brooks. I like it. Asics. There's another one I found called Ultra. I really liked them just for lifting. They're a little more flat with the wide for your toes. So one of my favorite parts is discovering a new shoe and then doing like a performance review, doing a deep dive, reading the review, stuff like that, just kind of seeing how it stacks up to other stuff and kind of reading what technology or what they're really going for and what the benefit of it is. So I think that's so fun. I enjoy that almost as much as buying them and opening up a box. I love just doing my research.
I'll tell you, Seth, you're a kindred spirit. And this is exactly why we got you on. Because this
give me knuckles over the camera.
Yeah, because touching on what Rob said there, I bought a pair of the Harden step backs last year. Awful. Absolutely awful. Just the whole look of them, mate. They look a lot cheaper than they actually are, I think. And I've got a really nice pair of Under Armour, the Embiid ones.
Yeah.
They're lovely.
I haven't seen those in person, but I've heard really good things about the Currys. I've got a friend that was also on the Kobe train and completely switched to Under Armours just because they were easier to get, but also loves the Currys. Says they feel so good.
Yeah. My Under Armour Embiid ones, they're so comfortable. Lovely. I've worn them to a few Storm games, actually. I have to wear them.
I'll have to check. Yeah, wear them the next one. Come show me.
Yeah. It's so sad, isn't it?
After the game, though.
Come and show me your sneakers.
After, yeah, definitely after. I'll give you more attention.
Yeah, no, I'm going to run on the court halfway through the game. Hang off your feet.
Fraz normally asks what size people are as well, Seth, so you can try and steal them if they might fit him.
You won't be fitting mine. I got little quick feet.
Okay. Yeah, I'm a 13, so.
Oh yeah, I'm not touching that.
No.
I'm a 9.5 US. I don't know what that is UK.
I think it's 8.5.
Probably, 8.5 or 9.
Yeah.
Depends. Some are half size bigger, some are like a full size, aren't they? So it just depends.
I mean, it doesn't. Yeah, my feet. I don't think they're like proportionally small, but I've always thought if they're smaller, they got to be lighter, which helps me be quicker. So I'm not complaining.
I'll just say one other set of sneakers I've got quite a lot of. Actually, I'm a really big fan of are the Adidas D Rose 773s. They're so nice.
I had a pair of the Adidas or the D Rose ones.
Oh right, nice.
And at that time, you could customize them, and I for some reason customized them into a Bulls color, which is basically what you could buy anyways. So I totally my youth failed me. I didn't think that through.
Because you can customize the Kyries, can't you? On the Nike website.
You can customize a lot of stuff now. You used to be able to customize the Kobe's. I had multiple pairs of the Kobe 6s that I customized. Yeah.
Saying that, not that Nike are going to be selling Kyries much anymore after what's happened recently. So they just delayed it.
Done.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, they're not promoting the 8s anymore, are they? They're not selling those, I don't think. Anyway, sorry, we'll cut this short now because I could literally be here another about 3 hours talking about this stuff. I could just scrap the rest of the podcast and just sit here chatting to you. But let's move on. I think we've got another. I think
we'll meet for coffee and meet for a coffee
Happily.
and bring bags of shoes with us.
Yeah, I know. Don't tease me like that, because I'm there. If you meant that seriously, I'd be there.
We'll work it out.
Rich,
I
shall
don't
we
think
go
Teo will
make
let you bring coffee though, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Rich, shall we go make a cup of tea or something so Fraz and Seth can carry on talking about sneakers?
No, I think we're done just for the time being. We might do a separate little. Me and Seth could get a separate podcast going.
I think
Getting
that's
people on
where
to
this
talk
is
about
going. That's
sneakers.
the genesis of
I'll
it.
tell
Yeah.
you, Seth, that's not a bad idea, actually.
No, it's not. Something to consider.
Yeah, there you go. Sorry, I'm digressing
all
again.
right,
Rob,
moving on now then, after an hour conversation about sneakers. But is there any particular NBA team that you follow?
I hate it that it's so difficult to watch the NBA with the time change. I haven't followed the NBA that close for a while though. I do really enjoy the Warriors organization though, the way they play, the players they have, just their culture. I'm a big fan of the Warriors.
What's the nearest team to Alabama? Is it New Orleans? Would it be New Orleans or the Pelicans?
It would be the Atlanta Hawks or the Grizzlies, Memphis Grizzlies. Memphis and Atlanta are fairly equal distance to where I'm from.
Okay, my geography's shocking, so I just took a stab in the dark there.
No, if you're in South Alabama, like down by the beach, you're definitely closer to New Orleans.
Okay. Oh, so it wasn't too far then.
Sorry.
No.
Is there particular players in the Warriors that you stand out to you that you enjoy watching more, or is it the team as like a whole?
I mean, it's all the guys for different reasons. I like obviously Steph, just his skill set and the way he plays, but also hearing some stuff about his leadership and the way that he brings the guys in, the way he carries himself, and the way he listens. Even though he's a superstar, I'd love to hear that. Really like Clay and the way he carries himself. Draymond is the ultimate winner. I think he's very, very underrated. Obviously everyone knows how good he is now, but still his value is so high. Andre Iguodala, as an older guy, the last couple of years has been a huge leadership presence for them. And, anytime they've had in the past and they've had really good runs, he's been just huge piece of that. Really, really like Jordan Poole as he's getting better and better. And you can see his confidence going up and him emerge. He's so talented.
Yeah, and I think in our research, we have a couple of researchers that look. There doesn't appear to be a professional sports outfit in Alabama. Is that right? So
the Pelicans actually moved their G League team to Birmingham, Alabama, and yes, it is pronounced Birmingham in Alabama because of the accent. But yeah, so it's the Birmingham Squadron. So they have a G League team now.
Okay, cool.
Okay, yeah, I wasn't aware of that. There's no, like, as you say, no NBA team. There's not an NFL team. Is there anything like that? There's no big sort of. Why are you surprised at that? That there's not like a basketball team, a bigger franchise sort of rooted there?
Yeah, I think so. The two biggest cities in the state are Huntsville, where I went to school. That's the biggest one now, and and Birmingham, which is the more of the old school, very it's very like historic. Birmingham is. Basketball, I'm a little shocked that there wasn't something earlier. I think it was beyond due for any professional sports team, so I'm glad they have that now. But football is American football is so influential in the South, and everybody has their team, and it's such a big deal that I'm really shocked that Alabama does not have a professional American football team.
Yeah, it surprised me as well. One thing I just wanted to ask you: you played quite an energetic sort of high tempo sort of style in your position. What do you do to sort of relax off the court? Do you find it easy to relax off the court, given how you are on it?
Sometimes. So most of the time during the day, I live my life my daily life a lot like I play on the court. I'll just run, go, and then I hit the bed, and I'm just like, it's a halt. It's like a stop. But on the days where, especially here, like the days where I don't have anything going on, or it's a rest day after a doubleheader weekend. Love FaceTiming family, friends back home, just kind of keeping in touch. I watch some shows on Netflix. There's a couple that I've recently finished that were pretty good. When I am back home, like in the summers, I golf a little bit. I'm not very good, but I like going out there because it's relaxing and it's nice. Yeah, that's kind of it. Pretty much just there's another spike ball. Have you guys ever heard of spike ball?
No.
And now,
what's that? What does that entail?
So it's like, it's 2v2, like volleyball with the 3 touches, but the net is on the ground. That's another thing you have to look up. Spike ball. It's so much fun. That's something that I like to do to relax, or on an off day, just for leisure activity at home. But yeah, spike ball. Look that one up. That one's fun.
Oh yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, I find new sports intriguing, so I'll Google that.
What are the Netflix series you just finished? Would you recommend them?
I would. It depends your style. I really liked the Game of Thrones series, so I've been watching House of the Dragon, another HBO.
Oh yeah, me
actually
too.
It's good.
I'm big.
It's good.
I was a big Game of Thrones fan. Very disappointed in the last season though. How it ended. There was only 6 episodes.
Yeah. I wish it was more. I feel like they rushed it. And I think I heard somewhere
they did.
The people that were in charge of that last season were also doing Star Wars or something at the same time, so it looked like it was a kind of a conflict of time, and that they rushed it a little bit.
Oh, okay.
However, I went back and I watched Game of Thrones last year from start to finish, and watching it all at once like that, it was a little better than I thought, and I was actually okay with how it ended, which is a very unpopular opinion.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, I found that last season was a difficult watch. I really did, because there were some of the seasons that were just up here, right up here, and then that just thought it fell flat.
Yeah, the House of the Dragon, that's been good. I watched Breaking Bad. I watched Breaking Bad a while back, so the prequel to that one is Better Call Saul. I really like that one. I think that new season came out pretty recently, so I just finished that one. I watched the Office, the US version, on repeat. I mean, almost every night before I'm going to bed, I'm getting an episode in of The Office.
Have you watched the British
to the UK
one?
Sorry. Have you compared that to the UK one?
I've watched a couple, and I think the problem is I just don't get the humor. The jokes just go right over my head.
Yeah.
Well, a bit of like history for you. Ricky Gervais, that's the main person in The Office in the UK, filmed 3 series of a program called Afterlife on Netflix, where a chunk of it's based in Hemel's Old Town.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
I've seen.
Yeah.
Okay, I've seen that one. I think it's on Netflix, right?
Yeah, it's Netflix.
Okay, yeah. So I've seen that one on there, and I know the I can't even say his name, but Ricky Gervais.
Yeah,
I've seen a lot of his movies. I'm a big fan of him, so I'm gonna have to watch that. That's really cool.
Yeah, it's funny because we noticed all the little landmarks and stuff in Hemel. Like he shows like the church that I got married in 16 years ago in the old town of Hemel. It's a really nice part of Hemel actually. Just to sort of go for a walk in, and that's where the Saffron is actually, the Indian restaurant you said earlier. So it's in that part of.
Where I live is right by the Gator Bridge Park. I think that's how you say it.
Yeah,
that's where some of it's filmed in Gaybridge Park. Yeah.
Okay, so I can walk literally across the park, and I'm in the High Town or Old Town, High Street. So I walk over there to get my bike fixed at the Leisure Wheels.
Oh yeah. No, well.
Yeah.
I used to get my bikes from Leisure Wheels as a kid.
So did
I was like, yeah.
My races and my BMXs and stuff.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, a chunk of Afterlife is filmed in the Old Town and Gaybridge Park.
Okay, that's perfect. Since I'm right here, I'm gonna have to watch it and then literally look out the window and be like, okay, yep, right there. Good show.
This is a 2-pronged question again. What's your favorite basketball memory, but also what's your favorite Storm memory to date?
Okay, the basketball memory, winning the conference championship in that 2020 year was, yeah, that was really special. That was because I had worked so hard with that goal in mind for multiple years. So to achieve that and just have that delayed gratitude and, you know, have it taken from you the year before, that was a pretty special memory. And I already said it, but also doing it with the guys and the friends that I had there. And yeah, sometimes it's what you do, but it's also the people you do it with that make it even more special. So that was probably one of my best basketball memories. And also so many more basketball memories. I would say because of basketball, I've been to some really, really cool places, especially this year and last year. Like being able to spend a weekend, or not weekend, like an afternoon in London is a memory that I'm going to have for the rest of my life. And that's all because I'm playing basketball here in Hemel. So I think there's a lot of really, really special memories that, you know, there's so many that I can't even say, but, you know, maybe not specifically basketball, but all thanks to basketball. And then the best Storm memory, is that what the second part was?
Yeah.
I think it was when I came over with USA Select, my first taste of the home crowd, and just to see the passion and the love of Storm basketball by the fans, and to hear it and experience it and to be on the other side of it. That was a pretty cool memory.
And is it a year later? Is it what you remember of the experience?
Yes, and it's even better because now I'm a part of it and I understand it deeper, and I look in the crowd and actually know the faces. So yeah, it's even better now.
Cool.
I thought the memory might have been something to do with Jack's antics on the court last week, but I think we'll come on to that later. Well, I know it's early on, but what about away venues? Have you kind of got a favourite away venue, whether in NBL or other divisions that you've played in?
So this year Essex Gym was, just most recently, the Essex Gym is great. It's so nice. And then I really do like Reading's gym, the Loudon.
Both good.
Yeah, that's great. They've picked a nice spot. And then, so last year after the USA Select, when I moved back to Newcastle, I was able to practice with the Eagles, and then on game days they would get me a ticket to the games. So then they would have sellout crowds up there too. So that Virtu Arena is on a home weekend when they're rocking and rolling. And last year wasn't great for them, but they still would sell out the crowd. So that was fun. I also got to watch the GB versus Greece game there last year, which is really cool. So I like that venue a lot. And then last year in Georgia, we played all our home games at an arena that is, I think, FIBA certified. So I think they've had some FIBA qualifying games there. Yeah, nice. It was nice. Yeah, the court was nice. The gym was really, really big. It was funny because we had that FIBA qualifier gym, and then we'd have 100 people there.
Yeah. Have you been down to see the London Lions or anything like that yet?
I haven't, but I really want to. I hear the Copper Box is pretty cool.
Yeah. I'd like to go and see that as well.
Yeah, we've been talking about it for a while, actually.
Yeah.
Haven't we, about getting up there? And
we need to do it, especially while the Eurobasket stuff or just another good game, so it looks like a great arena.
Yeah, we said about the 30th, didn't we? The 30th of December, there's a game on. They're playing.
I noticed they're playing one game at Wembley Arena as well.
Oh,
I think that's been and gone.
Oh, has it?
That game. I think it was the 1st of November, something like that. It was a European game.
Okay.
I saw it come up, but I thought that's weird.
Yeah.
Sorry,
if
Seth.
we're not playing, let me know, and I'd love to tag along with you guys. We make an afternoon.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, well, it's the 30th of December. I'm off work, and then the following day's New Year's Eve. I've got that day off work, so because it was the proposed day for the Kit King Trophy final. That day was when it was initially going to be held, but obviously it's not. It's in March now. So yeah, if you're free, you'd be more than welcome. Fancy coming along. I know Rich said about it. If Rob's free as well.
Okay.
I wasn't going to go, but now Seth's coming. I'm coming.
Oh, he's changed his mind. He's changed his mind now, hasn't he?
You can
He
talk
wasn't going in
trainers.
the,
You can talk
he wasn't
sneakers.
going
Yeah.
in the slice. Oh yeah, I'll dig
My
out my
head-
best pair for that. So,
My
no
head's
problem.
getting bigger. The longer we stay on
I'll
here, my
tell
head's
you.
getting.
I'll tell you, Seth.
Seth,
We could head up a bit earlier. We could head up a bit earlier and go to a few sneaker stores. Have a little look in London.
Oh, this is a dream. You're making my night.
Teo was telling me there's some real unique stores I hadn't heard of. I've heard a lot of the big ones and stuff, but there's some real out the way stores that he said, oh, you need to head here and you've got to try that one and give that a go. And yeah, I'll have to. I've got a message to him and ask him actually because I can't remember all the names that he gave me. But yeah, I'd love to. I'd love to do something like that.
Okay,
So,
perfect. Well, yeah, we'll work it
why
out.
not?
Write those names down. Write those stores down.
Yeah,
You gotta-
well,
you gotta
yeah,
hit them up.
yeah. No, we'll let you know. We're going up definitely. I think they're playing Plymouth City Patriots that night, which is the team, funnily enough, that Romario went to before he came
That's
to
right.
Storm.
Yeah, that's
So
right.
yeah, be good. I think it's an evening game as well. So get up and maybe have a few drinks in the afternoon or something.
Okay.
Sorry, again, I'm digressing again. One thing I wanted to ask actually, you and Taylor you were bare chested at the recent an Essex Rebels game. You had the number 10 scrawled on you. Taylor had number 5, I believe.
Yeah.
And it was actually shown on the big screen at the Essex Rebel game versus Storm at the weekend. I mean, do you care to elaborate on that at all? Or
Yeah, so I don't know how many people know this, but Aaron is playing for the Hearts University Bucks team.
sorry, that was my cat's tail then, by the way. Sorry. My cat was just jumped off on my screen. Sorry. Very professional.
So Aaron plays for the Hearts University Bucks team. On Wednesdays, they're playing, just about every week. So Sam, Jack, Taylor, and I made it to one of their home games, had a great time cheering on Rye. He scores like 40 a game. He just goes to the Bucks team and just balls out. It's so fun to watch. And so we end up going to the Essex game. But previously, like the week or 2 weeks before, me and Taylor went to the mall before the game, and we got body paint. We're like, we're going to paint up for Aaron. We're going to paint up for Cabell because Cabell also plays for the university team. And we didn't. We chickened out. So the next one we went to was at Essex, and we're like, we drove an hour and a half. You know, we know the team's going to need a little pick me up because we're going to get there a couple minutes late. We're not missing out another opportunity to paint up. So me and Taylor walk in there with our shirts off, painted up, and it's immediately Sam and Jack turn and walk away from us. So it's just me and it's just me and Taylor standing there yelling at their team with the entire crowd against us. So we're the only two that are actually cheering for Hearts Uni. But yeah, I did not think that they were going to get a picture of us and then play it or put it on the big screen during our game. But I was honored. I thought it was, if they're going to give us this much attention, there couldn't be higher praise than that. So that was fun.
Did you notice that when you or Taylor were taking a free throw at that end as well, where the screen was, they were putting it up to try and put you off?
I didn't.
Yeah.
I didn't. I missed a free throw or two, so I should say it did get me, but no, I didn't.
I remember when Stan, who's the hype man for Essex Rebels, the guy that was trying to get them all going and stuff. I think Taylor was taking a free throw, and they, like you said, they projected that image up on the jumbotron, and I think Stan said he turned around and said to the fans, "Do you really want to lose to this guy?" Basically, he was painting numbers on his chest.
Oh yeah, and that guy does a great job at the Bucks.
Yeah,
brilliant
there too.
Yeah, he was great.
So
Stan was superb.
we got to. Oh yeah, he's awesome, and we got to stop and talk to him after, and he came over and basically saw us with the paint, and he was like, "I have so much respect for you guys cheering for your team." He was like, "That's what I'm trying to get going here."
Yeah, it's a good atmosphere in there, I think, and they're trying to do the right thing, aren't they? It was all good natured and good fun, I think. So
yeah, absolutely.
But good to know there's a lot of cameras in there, right? So it's useful to know there's a lot of cameras.
I doubt you'll be doing that again, will you, sir?
No, I'm signing back up for the next Bucks game. I can't wait.
Oh, really?
Whatever helps our guys win.
It was a bit of an eventful weekend with Essex away and you guys being seen on the big screen, and then Bristol Academy Flyers at home on Sunday, obviously in the NBL Cup. So Jack, and we have to say it's Jack because it was Jack, broke the ring at half time down one end. Have you ever seen that happen in a game you've been playing in before?
It has never happened in a game. I've seen just a few times guys break them. I think twice in my life, seen them break them in the game. And then I don't know if anybody has told you guys this. So there are 4 Storm players. You guys obviously know this. There's 4 Storm players that do the coaching for Russell Hoops. Aaron, Taylor, Jack, and myself. Our first or second week here, I think it was, Aaron broke a rim at one of the schools, dunking for the kids. So we had to get that replaced. A week later, Taylor and I were shooting at the gym, and Taylor went up to dunk it and broke another one. So that's 2 rims. And now Jack has broken a rim at Leisure Center. So now it's up to me. I have to find a way to break a rim. I'm the last one to do it.
You've got to keep the streak going. Yeah.
Did Aaron and Taylor break a ring in the same gym?
In the same gym.
Oh no! It wasn't the new one after. It wasn't the new one after that.
It was the other end. Yeah, it was very unfortunate.
Yeah, because there's that great photo of you the other day holding the rim, isn't there? Went down an absolute storm online. Brilliant. I just said, I posted it, just said, caption this, and the amount of comments it was getting from people saying, and I remember Sam Newman said, oh, how did it feel to touch a rim for the first time?
Oh, I know. These guys, we're all so comfortable now, but yeah, they love to crack on me, so I can take it though. It's a good
Sam's
sign.
good. I like Sam's very funny on Instagram. He likes to dish it out.
He's one of the wittiest. He's one of the wittiest people I've been around. He's funny. He's really funny.
Yeah.
Yeah. Some of the stuff he posts online, it cracks me up. He's good.
He's got it.
So, when do you think you're going to break a rim so we can make sure we're there watching again?
I've been warned enough 3 times now, actually, not to break them. But I got to wait until no one's expecting it.
Maybe last game of the season.
Yeah,
Monster
exactly.
Dunk or something like that. Save it to that.
Yeah. That way, if they send me home, then it's after the season.
Exactly. Yeah. Save it for the Worthing Thunder game. It's the last game of the season. What a better way to do it, you know?
It's a shame you didn't do it at Essex on Saturday when they put that picture up of you and you just broke the ring directly under the photo. That would have been good fun.
That'd be one of those pictureceptions where you have like your picture of you and another picture. Yeah.
Yeah. Like
put that one up the next time.
Absolutely. So one of the things we do have is a bit of a tradition. I guess it's becoming a traditional question is about movies. So we ask everyone that comes on here if they've got a favourite basketball movie. So any thoughts on that, Seth?
Coach Carter, for sure.
No.
Okay. It's been a popular
Everyone says
answer.
that.
Which
that's 3 out of the 4 said that.
So it's Coach Carter is a movie, but like the Redeem Team documentary.
Yeah,
I saw that. It's great.
I don't know if you can count that as a movie, but then also the Last Dance, the whole series. I mean, there's so much good basketball stuff out right now.
Yeah, there's some really great documentaries now, isn't there, out there? So the movie question, I guess, could be expanded a little bit to, to include the documentary genre, I guess. But Coach Carter's been very popular answer so far, hasn't it?
Yeah,
I was hoping this was going to help me find new movies, but I can't keep watching Coach Carter over and over again. So,
it is an amazing film, though.
Yeah. Fantastic.
I don't know if you've seen Hustle. Seth, Hustle's a really good one. The Adam Sandler one.
That's another good one. I can't believe no one's ever like dove into that perspective before from the agent. I mean, obviously with other things, you kind of had that before, the more administrative side, but never with basketball. You never seen something like that.
Yeah, and
he was amazing full of as well. He was amazing, wasn't he?
He was,
yeah.
I was just going to say it's packed full of NBA cameos as well, isn't it? Tons of NBA players in it as well.
The NBA players, but also the NBA like trainers. I don't know if whenever he was doing all his workouts, those are the guys that you see working out with all the top NBA players right now.
Yeah, kept it as real as they could, I think, didn't they? They kept it very, with dramatic effect, obviously, but some great reality in there.
Absolutely.
Bit like Uncle Drew, right?
Yeah. I've watched that recently again. It's great, isn't it?
Really
Have you seen
good.
that one, Seth?
Yeah, yeah, really good.
Yeah. Okay, I think we've literally come to the end. We've asked so many questions. Unless you anything else you'd like to sort of add at all, Seth, or you guys got anything else you'd like to ask at all? Put to Seth.
No, it's been real pleasure.
It has, yeah.
Yeah, I'm empty. That's me. That's who I am.
Ready for bed now? Yeah.
Oh yeah.
No, thanks, Seth. Really appreciate your time. It's been brilliant. Really enjoyed listening to your thoughts and stuff. It's been great.
It was great fun, Seth. Thanks for joining.
No, it's my honor. Thank you. Seriously, I'm honored that you guys thought of me and wanted me to come on and share. You guys did such a good job, prepared questions and fun questions and thought-provoking stuff. So thank you. Thank you guys so much.
We like to do our research, really. You know, we just tried to make it a bit of fun, really, a bit lighthearted. You know, we don't do this professionally or anything. We've got full-time jobs away from this. So we just like to make it a little bit of we'll try to make it as engaging as it can be, but we'd like to have a bit of fun at the same time. So it's all good.
Absolutely.
Yeah, thanks again, Seth. Really appreciate you coming on.
And we'll see you Saturday for TBC.
Will do, yeah. Good luck.
Yes.
Good luck in Thames Valley Cavaliers.
Yeah, good luck for Saturday.
Yeah, take your boxing gloves as well.
It's going to be one of those, huh?
It might get a bit feisty. That's all I'll say, and leave it there.
Yeah, I played against some of the guys already with when they were on the Storm last year, so I think that was good prep to kind of see who
should
they
be
are.
Good competitive game. Yeah.
Well, it's going to be an interesting game because obviously you've got Bodie and Shaq there now, and then obviously Hakeem and Bernard and Charles have come the other way. So it's going to be. It's got a very interesting dynamic. I think the trade-off between the two players. So yeah,
especially for people that know that background too, it'll be add some depth and layers to it.
Yeah.
Well, I was going to say it must be quite interesting, really, for the likes of say Jack, who's been at Storm a long time, to be playing against Bodie, who was at Storm for almost as long as Jack. No, longer than Jack. Sorry, for 10 years. So yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how that all plays out.
And then you got me and Rye that walk in and are like, okay, who's that guy?
Yeah, you just keep draining those threes on Saturday.
Yeah, we'll be prepared. Yeah, we're gonna have a good week.
Good stuff.
Good stuff. Yeah, best of luck.